Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Gopi Chanda Balaba Girivardhari Gopi Chanda Balaba Girivardhari Gopi Chanda Balaba Girivardhari Gopi Chanda Yashoda Nandana Bhajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Bhajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanda Balava Girivardhari Gopi Chanda Balava Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Bhajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Guru Prabhupada Ki Jai. So today we will read from the Srimad-bhagavatam, 8th Canto, Chapter 3, Text 5. Kalena panchatvam ishesha kvichnasho Lokeshu paleshu cha sarvahetushu Tamastadasid Gahanang Gavirnam. Yastasya Pare Vivirajate Vibhu. Halena Panchatvam Iteshu Krishna Show. Lokeshu Paleshu Chasarva Hetushu. Tamastadasid Gahanang Gavirang. Yastasya Pare Vivirajate Vibhu. Kalena Panchatvam Ishesha Krishna Show. Lokeshu Paleshu Chasarva Hetushu. Tamastadasid Gahanang Gavirang. Yastasya Pare Vivirajate Vibhu.
Kalena Panchatvam Iteshu Krishna Show.
Kalena
Lokeshu Paleshu Cha Sarva Hetushu.
Lokeshu Paleshu Chasarva Hetushu.
Mastadasi Gahanam Gaviram.
Tamastadasid Gahanang Gavirang.
Yastasya Pare Vivirajate Vibhu.
Yastasya Pare Vivirajate Vibhu. Kalena Panchatvam Itesha Krishna Show. Lakeshu Paleshu Chasarva Hetushu. Tamastadasid Gahanang Gavirang. Yastasya Pare Vivirajate Vibhu.
Kalena Panchatvam Iteshu Krishna Show.
Kalena Panchatvam Iteshu Krishna Show.
Lokeshu Paleshu Cha Sarva Hetushu.
Lokeshu Paleshu Chasarva Hetushu.
Namaskarasid Gahanam Gaviram.
Tamastadasid Gahanang Gavirang.
Yastasya Pare Vivirajate Vibhu.
Yastasya Pare Vivirajate Vibhu. Kalena Panchatvam Itesha Krishna Show. Lokeshu Paleshu Chasarva Hetushu. Namaste Gahanang Gavirang. Yastasya Pare Vivirajate Vibhu. Kalena Panchatvam Itesha Krishna Show. Lokeshu Paleshu च Sarvaheteshu Tamastadase Gahanang Gambhiram Yastasya Pare Virajate Vibhu. Not today. Next year. Okay. Kalena, in due course of time, after millions and millions of years, Panchatvam, when everything illusory is annihilated, Iteshu, all transformations, Krishna Shaha, with everything within this cosmic manifestation. Lokeshu, all the planets, or everything that exists. Paleshu, maintainers like Lord Brahma. Cha, also. Sarvahetushu, all causative existences. Tamaha, great darkness. Tada, then. Asit, was. Gahanam, very dense. Gabiram, very deep. Yaha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who, Yasha, Tasha, this dark situation, Hare, over and above, Abhivirajate, exists or shines. Vibhu, the Supreme. Translation. In due course of time, when all the causative and effective manifestations of the universe, including the planets and their directors and maintainers, are annihilated, there is a situation of dense darkness. Above this darkness, however, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I take shelter of His lotus feet. So repeat after me. In due course of time, when all the causative and effective manifestations of the universe, including the planets and their directors and maintainers, are annihilated, there is a situation of dense darkness. Above this darkness, however, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I take shelter of His lotus feet. So, of course, we're continuing with Gajendra's prayers. It's actually all part of one prayer. So it's a long prayer. Purport. From the Vedic mantras, we understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is above everything. He is supreme above all the demigods, including Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. He is the supreme controller. He is the supreme controller. When everything disappears by the influence of His energy, the cosmic situation is one of dense darkness. Supreme Lord, however, is a sunshine, as confirmed in the Vedic mantras. Aditya Varang Tamasaha Parasat. In our direct experience, when we are on earth, in our direct experience, when we on earth are in the darkness of night, the sun is always luminous somewhere in the sky. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Sun, always remains luminous, even when the entire cosmic manifestation is annihilated in due course of time. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gnana Shalakaya Chakshurun Vinitam Nina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, so the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, of course, eternal. He's always existed. He always will exist. He never is diminished in any way. And in comparison, the material manifestation is temporary, very temporary. In eternal time, material manifestation, which may go on for millions of years or billions of years, but in due course, it's all annihilated. It said that at the end of the universe, at the end of the dissolution of the universe, the sun will become 12 times stronger than it is right now, and everything will be burnt up completely, and then there will be flood, big flood, which will cover the entire universe. Imagine water going, because the universe is not just an open space; it's a ball, an egg-shaped type ball, as described, and it will be, and there'll be so much rain that it will actually. It'll be so much rain that it'll fill up the entire universal ball and cover all the planets, and everything will be annihilated. Actually, at different times there are different annihilations. So at the end of each Lord Brahma's each of his days, then the lower half of the universe, the lower planets, get destroyed, and the higher planets remain. And then in due course, but at the end of the entire universe, the end of the entire cosmic manifestation, everything is destroyed, and ultimately the whole universe and all the other universes are pulled back into the body of Mahavishnu for a period of time, and then manifested again. So that's what's being described here. So so in due course of time, when all the causative and effective manifestations of the universe are annihilated. So, we say like cause and effect, causes and effect. So everything within the universe has everything within the material manifestation has a cause. The only thing that doesn't have a cause is Krishna. He's the cause of all causes. He's always existed, and everything that exists comes from him. And there's nothing or no one that is the cause of him existing. So otherwise, everything in the material universe, we can always look back and say, well, this was caused by this, and this was caused by that, and this, and that's pretty much what material scientists try to do. Although it's for the most part, it's just speculation, because they really don't know what causes what, and so on. But at the end of all that, the cause of all that. The original cause of everything is Krishna, and Krishna still remains. It says that when everything else is destroyed, it means the universe is destroyed, so the sun is also destroyed, and the sun is actually is the only source of light within the universe. It's the only source of light. It's not like the modern science says that they see so many lights out there, the stars, and I think each one of those stars is like a sun, and each sun has planets, or may have planets around them, like that. But actually, there's only one real source of light in the universe, and that's the sun. And all the which we call stars, they're actually planets, and every planet has life. Every planet. There's thousands and millions and billions. They might be referred to as stars sometimes, but they're planets in the sense that they're residences of so much life, so much civilization, which are described to some degree in the Vedic scriptures. If you study the fifth canto of Srimad-bhagavatam, then you can see there's it tells about the structure of the universe and the higher planets and what life is like there. The middle planets, what we have experienced, we're here, and the lower planets, what life is like. Even what's called the subterranean heavenly planets, which are kind of like as far as sense gratification, as far as material enjoyment, they're actually better than even the heavenly planets. But they have one problem. The one problem is that on the subterranean heavenly planets, although there's so much facility for material enjoyment, everyone knows from the time they're born to the time they die that at any moment the Lord Vishnu's Sudarshan chakra may come and kill somebody, and you never know when. So you've got all this facility for enjoyment, but you can't really enjoy it because you're always in anxiety. When's the chakra going to come and cut off my head? But that's a subterranean heavenly planet, which is just a different form of hellish planets in reality, like that. So anyway, there are many different manifestations of planets and many different living entities and all. But the point in this verse, and Gajendra is pointing this out in his prayer, is in spite of everything that's here, in due course of time, it will, after millions and millions of years, he's saying, it will come to an end, and the only thing that is left, the only thing that's what's the words? How do you say? Yeah. Above that darkness, however, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So just like the sun, Srila Prabhupada gives the example. This just like the sun. We may be here and it may be midnight and there's no sunlight here, but we understand that somewhere that sun is there, other side of the other side of the planet, and so it's middle of the night here and it's middle of the day there, or middle of the morning there. There's some other time of the day. So the sun is always existing. The sun is rising and setting. It's not ceasing to exist and being born again like that. It's actually always existing. So in the same way, the Supreme Lord, while during the constant creation and annihilation and running and operating of the whole material manifestation, through all that time, he always exists, even when he's not seen. He's existing. and like that. And why is all this important? It's not just words. It's not just something. There's reason that all this knowledge is given to us, and that's so that we can know and be reminded constantly. We have to be reminded constantly because we tend to forget and become an illusion that of the temporary nature of this world and the ultimate goal of at least a human form of life. The animals can't do anything as far as becoming Krishna conscious. They have to just go through their period of suffering and karma that they're working out. But in the human form of life, we have knowledge of that here I am, and I'm spirit soul, but my situation here in this world is temporary, and there is actually a purpose of life. There is a purpose to life. If you ask most people, what is the actual purpose to life? What is life about? What is your philosophy of life? I think most people probably don't even think about it. Because most people probably don't even think about what is my philosophy of life. Oh, it's just we're here and we just try to enjoy. Oh, try to be nice to people. But as far as understanding that the real ultimate purpose, the purpose of human life, is that we develop love for God. And if you say, and we should not think, because we know the goal is to love God. We know because we're studying these things regularly, we're practicing it. But we should not think, I really love God. I mean, people say I love God, but they may be loving God when God gives them some good material situation, and then becoming doubtful about God when things don't go well. So, but the actual love of God, which is what we're in this Krishna consciousness movement that we're trying to learn and practice how to develop that love. It actually means that under any circumstance, under the most difficult circumstances, we still love God. That verse in the Shikshastika is the last verse. Even if you handle me roughly by your embrace, make me brokenhearted by not being present before me, you're still my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. So that's the Shikshastika prayers actually are going from beginning, which is the Sankirtan movement, to the end, which is the 8th verse, is the perfection of it's the perfection of life, the human form of life. So Lord Chaitanya gave it in 8 verses. He gave from the beginning, like our beginning of sadhana bhakti and so on, up to the point of pure love of Krishna. So we study these things, these kind of statements about the temporary nature of the material world and about our and that we are spirit soul and what the goal of life is. We study these things regularly so that we try not to forget, because it's very easy to become entangled and busy with so many things in life, and then we forget our position. But we're trying to, we are being taught, by Srila Prabhupada's blessings, we are being taught to try to always remember our real constitutional position in relationship to the Supreme Lord. And a very important part of that is what we're reading about here, is that we, not just we individually, but the entire universe is temporary. So even if someone is knowledgeable about higher planets and demigod worship and maybe being able to go to some other planet to enjoy. But we have to be reminded, as we are being in this verse, that even if we want those things, it's temporary. And even those higher planets that we may aspire to go to for, thousands of years, in our calculation, thousands of years or millions of years of superior enjoyment, even those planets themselves will be, in due course, they'll be annihilated. And in eternal time, it's just a flash. It may seem like us, millions of years, billions of years. Wow, Lord Brahma, 311 trillion years he's living, right? It may seem like amazing, but if you're there, or if you're Lord Brahma, his lifespan is the same as our lifespan is to us. It's relative time, like that. So we need to be reminded constantly of our position as that we are eternal, but in our situation here is very temporary, including the planets themselves. In modern times, actually it's not just modern times, the desire has been going on forever. But they say, you think, sometimes people ask, well, why, because there's an attempt to go to the moon, Mars, and these kind of places with rocket ships, so much endeavor. I think, so you may ask someone, well, why go there? Well, who knows? Maybe in time a big asteroid is going to come and destroy the Earth, and we have to be, find some way to be other places. Okay, maybe it will happen, maybe it won't happen, but those other places you want to go are also temporary, and they are also going to come to an end. So better that we don't waste our time. It's better that human society doesn't waste time making so much endeavor to fly here and fly there, and go and enjoy in other situations, because at any moment, without warning, it can all end. Better we take our time and concentrate our life energy and just becoming Krishna conscious and preparing ourselves to go back to the spiritual world, which there is no end. It's actually it's hard to even conceive of some places that has no beginning and no end, because all that we have experience of in this world is what has beginning and it has an end. But we understand, at least from the acharyas, that the spiritual world has no beginning. It's always existed, and it always will exist. And there's no birth, death, disease, and old age there. So our only business here in this world, this lifetime, is to become Krishna conscious, revive our Krishna consciousness, and go back to Godhead. We don't usually talk of the terms of, in preaching. We don't usually speak in terms of going out and trying to convert people to being Krishna conscious. And that's used in other paths. You convert someone to become a Christian, or to become a Jew, or become a Muslim or something. You're trying to convert them for whatever they are, whatever they've been. You try to make them something different. But Jai Shri Gaur Nitai, Shri Radha Brita Vihari Digana, Balaram, Lady Subhadra, Lord Shikade, Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. So we may, in other religions, that's the mood. You whatever someone is, you try to make them change their position. But in reality, everyone, by nature, spiritual nature, is already Krishna conscious. Our nature is to be Krishna conscious. So we're not telling anyone to change their, just change their belief. We're just saying revive your natural Krishna consciousness. This is what we do. This is the whole goal of preaching. preaching means, and actually practicing spiritual life means that we have, you see, the body, the mind, the consciousness is right now in our conditioned state. It's covered with material desires, so much material desire. And practicing Krishna consciousness just means that we are washing away the dirty covering, the dusty covering, uh, just like a mirror. Um, if a mirror has, if you take a mirror and you put it in a room and leave it there for a long time, it's going to fill up with dust. Or if you're take that mirror and you're doing some construction in the room, it will become very quickly filled with dust. In either case, when it becomes filled with dust, it will not reflect light very well. Maybe not at all if it has enough dust. So that's basically our position in this world. Our mirror, the mirror of the mind, has a tendency to be. The natural tendency of the mirror is to reflect, and the natural tendency of this body is to be Krishna conscious, but we're covered. So the practice of Krishna consciousness is actually just washing away the dirty covering, and the natural Krishna consciousness that is underneath all that dust will manifest. Therefore we don't try to convert someone to be Krishna conscious. We just help them to follow the process, chanting Hare Krishna, taking prasadam, doing some kind of devotional service like that, and in that way that dirty covering that is there will start getting washed away, and our natural Krishna consciousness, which is already here, it's already there, it becomes uncovered, and then they can start experiencing the higher knowledge, the higher taste, and beginnings of realizing their eternal Krishna consciousness and our Krishna consciousness, of course. So that's the process to just revive our natural Krishna consciousness, which is actually a very wonderful process, because, like I said, it's not, we're not trying to convert anything or convert anyone. We're simply saying, try to clean away the dirty covering by this process of association with Krishna. And we associate with Krishna through, even though we don't have the eyes and the intelligence to see Krishna right now in his original form, but we are associating with Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, that's Krishna's names, by taking prasadam. That's a very tasty way of associating with Krishna, and by hearing Srimad-bhagavatam, which is itself an incarnation of Krishna. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Purana Brahma Sankirtan. It says, so it's described actually as an incarnation in the chapter on incarnations, third chapter of the first canto. It's actually described itself as an incarnation of the Lord. So we're associating like that. Bhagavad Gita, which of course is spoken by Krishna, so that's also not different from Krishna. And the deity, of course, is not different from Krishna. So many ways Krishna is manifesting and giving, and by that association in in this process, then our dirty covering of the mind is becoming cleansed away, and our natural Krishna consciousness is coming out. And even if we don't finish in one lifetime, then we carry our advancement and start off there at the next point. And practically speaking, if we're in this lifetime, we're actually practicing Krishna consciousness regularly, then we're just continuing from a previous lifetime or previous lifetimes where we were already we were already making spiritual advancement, but somehow we didn't finish. So we're continuing from there. That's why sometimes devotees can take it up and can stay fixed in it and just go forward. Sometimes somebody takes it up and it comes and goes and comes and goes because they're not quite that far along. And someone else may take it up and they're practically experiencing level of bhava, ecstasy from early on because they've just continuing where they left off. So, and when our time comes, we become fully Krishna conscious. Then that's just the perfection. And then when one does become fully Krishna conscious, it's described that the pure devotee, or when we become pure devotees, then we still, even though we have perfect knowledge and we're completely Krishna conscious at that point, but we should not give up the practice of sadhana. We should not give up the practice because even if one has become 100% Krishna conscious, then he needs at that point to act properly as an example for others, even if he doesn't need it himself or she doesn't need it herself. He has to. The devotee needs to continue. Just like we say, we as neophytes, we are practicing Krishna consciousness so we can become Krishna conscious, become pure. But even when we become completely pure, externally at least, we need to be chanting. We need to be following regular principles. We need to be, coming Mangalartik and hearing the Srimad-bhagavatam Class, or teaching the Srimad-bhagavatam Class. Either way, you're teaching, you're also hearing it. You benefit in two ways, like that. We need to do that, even when we become 100% Krishna conscious. And if one is not really Krishna conscious, but is thinking, okay, I'm already self-realized. If we're thinking like that falsely, I'm already self-realized. I don't really need these things. So for someone like that, who feels that have already achieved the perfection and they haven't actually, they need to follow also because they're just imagining that they're Krishna conscious. So whether one has actually fully become Krishna conscious and needs to show the good example, or someone who's thinking or pretending that they're fully Krishna conscious and thinks they may think they don't have to show the example, but they also need to follow the example or set the good example. First of all, for their own benefit, because if you think you're Krishna conscious and you're not, and you give up the process, then you lose everything, like that. So anyway, these are a few points on this verse. Maybe I'll open up for questions, comments.
You grew up in the Islamic faith where converting was a huge thing, that they call it reverting.
They call it what?
Reverting instead of converting.
Reverting.
Yeah, that you were always, it was always a Muslim coming back
Oh.
or something like that. But I like the way you were saying it, there was a due covering, that you would wash away through the process to uncover your natural Christian consciousness. And it's not a process of converting, but actually just cleansing, purifying through Krishna consciousness to realize your true nature, and not fighting between this path and that path, and anything that. So I really appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah.
And also, saying that even if you think that you're self-realized, you still need to follow by example, provide that example. But if you think that you're self-realized, then you really need to do your process because you're imagining that you're Krishna conscious, but you follow the process to actually become Krishna conscious. So I really appreciate this conversation.
Good.
Sort of a question. You mentioned the Chaitanya Shikshamrita,
Uh-huh.
the book by
Oh.
Bhakti.
Oh yeah, Chaitanya Shikshamrita.
Yeah. And he mentions in there the different levels, like starting from, sadhana bhakti, where we get the creeper, and then we sadhusanga, we need devotees, we first start with shraddha, and so forth. And he's mentioning in there that we should be very aware what stage we're at, and not to really be stuck on a stage. That means that we're not doing something correct. Is it the job of you think of ourselves or the guru to be recognize where you're at spiritually and to help you progress? Is it a combination of both?
But both. I mean, we should be knowledgeable. We should understand what the qualities or the qualifications of being on different levels, so we know where we're at. And it serves different reasons. One is if we know where we're at, then we know how many stages I need to progress to, and if we know that we're practicing, if we're actually practicing Krishna consciousness seriously, and we see that I'm at this point, and then we can we become it's an impetus to go forward, just like we say, okay, we start with Shraddha. Shraddha actually comes into it overlaps too. We start with Shraddha. You have to have a little faith to start to get to even try the process. Shraddha, and then association with devotees. So that's sadhu sangha. And then, of course, if you're associating with devotees, especially with someone who's a little more senior, because I guess everyone will be senior to you in the beginning, but someone who will give you good guidance, then it's just a matter of time. If you associate very much, it's you're going to be engaged in some kind of devotional service. So Shraddha, and then Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, that's the devotional service, and that far anyone can do. I mean, anyone can take up the path of Krishna consciousness, and then we come to the Anartha Nivritti. That's where we have to start. We have to give up something, probably, unless we just happen to be living a very, very pure life before we took up Krishna consciousness. But Anartha Nivritti, that means basically following the Four Regular Principles. That's the biggest part of it. At the gross level, that's what it is. But we should know where I'm at. Okay, if I'm going to have some faith, I've taken up the path. I associate with devotees. Good. I'm engaging in devotional service. So that's step 3. There are 9 stages. I'm able to follow all 4 of the regular principles. That's good. We're already halfway there. So it's an encouragement. That's it. We know where we're at. And then comes Nishtha, I think. Nishtha, steadiness, right? So because we might be following the principles, but maybe sometimes we say, I can't do it. I need to, kind of go backwards a little bit, and then try to go forward, backwards. But at some point, if we keep practicing, then we get that steadiness, and we become fixed in it, and we don't go back into sinful life or anything. We become actually steady and fixed, and that's when we can really start making really good spiritual advancement, because we're chanting, we're following the principles, we're not we're convinced of the that basically means second class devotee. Until we at least can follow the principles, then it's third class devotee. And third class devotee, as Prabhupada explains, is very shaky position. We start there, but we don't want to stay there, because third class devotee means we can get a little confused, and we give up everything. So when we come to the point of second class devotee, and become very serious about the process, then we're making some good advancement. And so knowing where we're at, which is your question, we should know where we're at. In fact, when I took I was taking Bhakti Shastra course, and Nectar, it was a Nectar devotion. Yeah, we were taking that part of the course, the Nectar of Devotion, where all these things are described. Then one of the homework questions was to write, okay, first of all, what are the stages? And then where are you at? And why do you say that you're at that stage of spiritual advancement? It was good. I never really thought about it before, but we wrote like that, trying to describe where we're at and why we feel that we're at where we're at, based on the descriptions of these. And then there's also in a book, by I think Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Madhurya, what's it called? Madhurya Kadambani, I think it's called. The whole book is about those 9 stages of devotional service, and great detailed description about each stage. It's a nice book. It's a nice book. You can really, and we might find, if we read it, that we're saying, well, I thought I was on this level, but I'm actually maybe not quite yet, because there's a lot of details about being firmly fixed on each level. But anyway, it's described like that, and so these are good books to follow and study. So yes, to answer your question, we should try to understand where we're at, and naturally, a guru will also see these things and can give some guidance. But we shouldn't just wait for the guru to say, you're at this stage, you need to go forward. We need to be, they call it introspective. In Krishna consciousness, we have to be very introspective. We always have to be looking in and seeing what we're thinking, why we're thinking, trying to understand what's actually going on. And these books by the different acharyas have given a lot of good guidance on how to do that. Question? Comment? Giovanni, you have a question? Next time. Okay. So then I guess we'll end the class today, and I guess this will be the last time I see most of you.
Class is something else for all of us here. Remember this. I mean, we'll come back for sure, but at this time, it's very special. We talk about it a lot in Dharma's class in the morning. Thank you.
Well, this reminder.
Yeah, please keep it up, and hopefully not the local state can come. And I know physically present is better. Remember we talked in the very beginning about the little cardboard cutout? we're just like joking. And it's better to talk to someone.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely, if you're live, tune in. Ask our
I
questions.
could actually stream this and have, you stream it, but go through, what's it called? Zoom. Yeah, Zoom. We could go through Zoom and still have a stream sent out to the general public as it is now, but with Zoom interface. Maybe we try like that. If so, at least there's a chance to respond. Because I don't see that anyone's really responding. Well, I got a couple of thank yous here. Yeah, a couple of thank yous, but nobody asked questions hardly through the system. I think maybe it's more encouraging to ask questions and make comments when you can actually speak. So we'll see how it goes, but I'll intend to keep going like this, and I'll keep streaming it in one format or another. You can see you can see the links. Yes, Sudhi. Yes, we are here. New comment. Thank you for coming. Who came remotely, and yeah, we'll continue like this, and hopefully many devotees will come in either during the class or we'll see it afterwards. We're actually getting to check sometimes maybe not during the class, but after a day or two, sometimes we have like 40 or 50 others who are watching, devotees who are watching from outside. And that's what the numbers are showing. So even if someone can't be here at this time, there are devotees who are coming and seeing it. And if we share them, you receive them, and then take it and share it, and like that, then that's the way it's spread around. So do what you can do on that side, then I'll try to keep giving the classes.